Hey guys, it's Julia back with another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Today, I wanted to bring you guys a little video that would be a little bit helpful for you guys. And I was kind of scrolling on Netflix and I realized it's kind of hard to find shows on Netflix. I wanted to come back on here and give you guys some more Netflix show ideas. I love Netflix. I'm a Netflix girl. I feel like Netflix is superior to everything. And I watch tons of TV shows all the time. It's kind of hard to find good ones. So today, I have a few great ones for you if you're looking for some new shows to watch and need some ideas. I'm gonna give a little bit of background on every single one of the shows just so you know what you're getting into. I'm gonna stop the chatterbox and let's get into this video. This is kind of in no specific order. It's kind of just how I thought of them when I was writing the list. First show is Degrassi. I feel like this was popular a little bit ago, but I just started watching it recently and I was like, oh, so I missed the hype when it was hype. So maybe other people missed the hype when it was hype. Degrassi is a show about a bunch of high schoolers. It's basically a high school drama, one of my favorite types of things to watch, and it touches on a bunch of different subjects, serious subjects: mental illness, racism, sexism, LGBTQ, trauma, PTSD. It touches on so many things. It does it in a good way, and it does it in a little spicy high school teenage show way. When some shows put too much into something and then it's okay, we got a lot going on, it's time to wrap it up. This show I feel has a lot going on, but they do it in a good way. I don't feel oh my god, what is this plot line when I'm watching it? And it brings awareness to a lot of things that kids in high school actually deal with that other shows don't really put on their show. The next show is You. Now, You just came out with a new season. You has been popping. If you haven't watched You, you've not been on the train. And if you haven't been on the train, you need to get on the train. And if you have watched You, I'm telling you now, there's a new season. You is about this guy. He seems like a regular, normal guy, right? He's not. I actually haven't watched the third season yet because I'm in the middle of Degrassi and I don't really like show hopping. Kind of stalkerish guy. He's a little bit crazy. In another season, he meets a psychopathic twin. She becomes his soulmate, but then he thinks she's fucking crazy because she does what he does. There's so many plot twists, and it's like drama, psychopath, mystery, a little bit bloody. Joe, which is the main character, most of his lines are through what his brain is thinking, and it kind of gives you insight into what stalkers, psychopaths would think. I don't know if I would exactly say that. Trust me, there's some hidden gems in here and then there's some given gems. And this one is Outer Banks. Outer Banks new season, the day I'm filming this video, is coming out less than a week. It will be out February 23rd, I think, is the new season of Outer Banks. So Outer Banks is another drama-filled thing. Outer Banks, I feel it's kind of a little bit in the middle of You and Degrassi. I feel Outer Banks is adventurous. It's about a group of teens that live in the Outer Banks. There's actually so many plot twists. All is based off John B, which is the main character's dad being dead, kind of leaving him a trail, I guess. Find some treasure that his dad was almost about to find. His dad kind of left him smidge bits behind, and it's a group of teens trying to follow these smidge bits while there's a bunch of adults also trying to follow the smidge bit. Dramageddon, because some crazy shit happened the second season, so I'm quite excited to see what's about to happen the third season because it's a good ass show. And that's one show that I may actually stop watching Degrassi midway through because I hate show hopping, but Outer Banks is one of my favorite shows. I might have to. And number 4, I feel maybe I just haven't heard any hype about it, but I have not heard anything about this show ever, and I kind of just stumbled upon it. I'm pretty sure it's based off a book, so maybe people are gonna be wow, this bitch is dumb as hell. But it's called Firefly Lane, and it's about these two girls. One of them comes from more together family. As you go on, you kind of see that the family is not perfect. And then the other girl that lives in this Dramageddon household, and it's just her and her mom. And it shifts back and forth between different periods of their life. I think it's 3 periods. One when they were really young and in high school. The other one where they were in the middle age trying to figure out what they were gonna do in life, and they were working together and da-da-da. Third one is when they're way older. One of them is really famous, and one of them is more family oriented. And there's just it's a lot. It confused me at first, and at first I was what the hell is going on in the show? But it's actually a really interesting show, and I honestly like the back and forth. At first it was a little bit hold the phone, because I wasn't sure if it was back and forth, but it's kind of easy to figure out eventually that it is back and forth through time periods. It sounds confusing. The way I'm explaining it doesn't make it seem fiery and tasty and delicious like it is, but it is good. It's a really good show. It's really about their lives. They just have a little bit of a drama-filled life, and I kind of like how it shows the progress of each of the different characters and how they went in like 2 different directions. They'd like fight, they'd make up, then sometimes other stuff happened. Like, really good show. Firefly Lane. Then we have Workin' Moms. It's like The Office but about moms. I feel like I haven't watched the show in a while. I watched the show a little bit ago. I wouldn't say it's like super serious. I think it's more of like a fun shits and giggles show, but it still has some good like plot lines. I don't really like watching shows that don't have super connecting plot lines, so it kind of goes to show that like it did. But yeah, it's literally a show about a bunch of moms. 2 of the main characters like join this like mommy group, and it's kind of just like a little bit of a silly, goofy, fun show about this group of moms and how they go through like motherhood. For me, it took like a minute for me to get into it. Like right off the bat, I wasn't like, good ass show, but you'll get there. It's a pretty good show. And the next one has to be one of my favorite shows that I've watched recently. It's called Dead to Me. While the name sounds vulgar, it's a very interesting show. It's so hard to explain the plot of the show without giving spoilers. It's these 2 women. One just lost her husband to a hit and run, and the other one also lost her husband, but big, huge plot twist. Like plot twists having plot twists. Like, I feel like I've been saying like all of these shows are plot twisty, but like I'm sitting here thinking right now, like, this show was good as hell, and them became friends, and like the one woman is helping the other woman through the grief and the loss of her husband, but she's holding this huge ginormous secret, like big ass secret. And I feel like what I liked about the show is I feel like it kind of got like straight to the point. It didn't really like beat around the bush too much with like the intro. Like, the show started and it picked up and it didn't stop. Like, sit in my bed and I'll watch the next 4 episodes back to back to back. It has 3 seasons, and the show ended on a cliffhanger, but not really. Like, it had a little cliffhanger, but I feel like the cliffhanger wasn't cliffhangery enough to the point where it's like, oh my god, I can't live without ever seeing again. It kind of gave you like a little bit of closure. I would like to know what happened after the cliffhanger, but maybe they can make like a sequel show. Maybe they will make a sequel show. The whole storyline of the show was based off the 2 women, and at the end, one of the women isn't in the show anymore, so there's no like point. Really good show. Tap in, because if you want to tap in with any of them this video, I feel like this is the one that you should tap in with first. Then we have Maid, about this single mother, got pregnant with this guy's child. He turns out to be like super abusive, and it's kind of about her trying to like escape him, get custody of her daughter, but she's going through like a lot of hard stuff, and it kind of is like a little bit more like serious tone. Like, if you're looking for like a giddy show to watch, I wouldn't necessarily point you into this direction. If you're looking for like a more deep storyline plot, this is a very realistic thing. I feel like basically everything in the show that happened is plausible. There's some things that are like a little bit of a reach. You'll see if you watch it, but like overall it's a pretty like realistic show. The next show is one of my favorites, a little bit more on the lighter note, and it's Emily in Paris. I love the show. I think I love the show so much because I admire and aspire to be like Emily so freaking much. It's about this woman who works at a marketing firm in Chicago. She basically got this like 1-year job to move to Paris and like work at this marketing firm in Paris that's like an extension. So she goes to Paris for a year. I love the storyline, and what she does is like my dream job in a way. And then the fact that she's in Paris and gets to do it makes it even more like appealing. And she has this like social media accounts, and she's like documenting what she's doing, just showing how she basically like gets adjusted to Paris and how Paris becomes like her home. It's full of little itsy bitsy drama. The next one is a very common show. It is Wednesday. This show was like trending off the ball charts a few weeks ago. It's about Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. It's like all magic and stuff, and how she goes to like the school of like, is it freaks? I don't know if it'd be freaks. Like, she's trying to solve this crime, and she has her like visions where she sees stuff. It's a good show. The next show is Life Sentence. It's about this girl who had cancer her entire life. The doctors told her she basically had 8 months to live. So she basically lived like she was dying, and she planned the rest of her life like she was going to die in 8 months. Come to find out, she didn't die. So then it's kind of like her finding out about everything that her family protected her from while she was sick. Her and her husband that got married under the thought that they were only going to be together for the next 8 months, see how they like work that out. And it also showed like the perspective sides of the family, like how her sickness also affected like her family. Then we have Grand Army. I watched this show a while ago, so I don't remember the exact plot line, but I remember loving this show, and I remember also being like really upset when I found out they weren't renewing it. but Grand Army is about these high schoolers. Grand Army is much more like in your face about it. I mean, Grand Army really puts like a lot of issues right in your face. It has to do with sexual assault. Like if you aren't an in your face show type of person, it may be worth like doing a little search before you jump in and watch it, because it is very in your face. Then we have Girl Boss. She opted out of high school, college, I can't remember exactly. She kind of was like jumping from job to job, like trying to find her passion. She sold this jacket that she thrifted, made a lot of money off of it, and it like started this huge like career for her in like vintage fashion and and it kind of shows that process. There's drama mixed into there. She made like one wrong move and like a lot of her sales started to like drop. She had a lot of like ups and downs with the business. It took like a second for me to really start to enjoy the show, but I think overall it was a really good show. Next is Surviving Summer. This show reminds me of Outer Banks a little bit, but it's not like Outer Banks at all. It's about this girl that is like a super city girl and her mom is really rich or whatever. She's like rebellious, so she gets sent to her aunt's house in Australia, I think it is. They're all like big surfers and she hates it. She tries to run away. Like slowly but surely she gets like into the groove of things. She becomes a part of their friend group, and then there's like drama and like all like revolving around surfing. Really made me feel the summer vibes. I like that for a show. I like feeling the summer vibes, and I also like surfing, so I think that was like cool. And the last show I have on this list is Spinning Out. This show is revolved and based around ice skating. This mom who has bipolar disease and used to be a really good ice skater. She couldn't be an ice skater anymore because she got pregnant. Both of her kids are in ice skating. The older one got injured really badly in single skating. She didn't get back on the ice for a while. She started like training in pair skating. She also has bipolar. It caused like a lot of commotion between her and her mom. It was crazy. It was mainly based around ice skating and her getting this like ice skating skill back. It was also about like her family relationship and how she was like getting through her disease. I actually really enjoy that show. I talk about that show a lot. Like when people ask me what show to watch, I say that show a lot. Those are some of my favorite recent Netflix shows that I've watched. I hope you were able to find at least like one or two shows that maybe sparked your interest to click on. And if you did, make sure you subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you never miss any more videos, and follow my Instagram and my TikTok. Both of them are linked down in the description below and on the screen right now. I love you guys so unbelievably much. Peace out.